now to the second part of the show where we present life-changing books. And what could be better than having here Kostiantyn Koshelenko, Deputy Minister of Social Policy of Ukraine for digital development, digital transformation, and digitization. He said, don't do this. I'm just the Deputy Minister of Social Policy, but I think it's important to know how big his mission is, how much he has to deliver, and how much he is managing. Costa, I'm very happy to have you here.
Hey, Anabel, and great to be here again. Last time we talked about digital transformation in Ukrainian social sector, and yeah, we built systems that had to work even when the country was under attack. And today we are talking about my book. And in many ways, this book is the story of how we did it. And it is not just about leadership, it's about making decision when failure is not an option. And also, let me be clear, this war is not just about Ukraine. Putin and his army are a threat to all of Europe, and he cannot be trusted. His word means nothing, so I'm happy to share these lessons with the world. Let's start.
Thank you so much, Acosta. It is important that you added these words because sometimes somehow people feel like living on an island, a protected island, where nothing can can happen to them, forgetting that we are living first in a digital world and we are living in a connected world, which could be somehow good, but can somehow also very dangerous. And people often forget about it because they get so much information in their heads, but it's important because this is basic and this is something which can change for the better or to the worst ever. So I would like to say a few words to you about you and the book before I ask you some questions about the book. Kostiantyn Koshelenko's Management in Times of War. Leadership Examples from Ukraine's Government and Private Sector offers a compelling exploration of leadership and resilience amid conflict. Drawing from his experience as Ukraine's Deputy Minister for Social Policy during the Russian invasion, Koshelenko provides first-hand insights into crisis management. And really first-hand. This must be super clear for everybody. And it is really enriching its narrative with diverse perspective. Readers gain a really nuanced understanding of decision-making processes, the importance of adaptability, and the role of digital transformation in maintaining governmental and business operations during wartime. You're emphasizing in efficiency and resilience, and you're giving a really holistic perspective of this. Your analytic, empathic approach makes this work something which nobody should miss reading at least once and giving it to a present to somebody else. And as you were born in Ukraine, you have built a distinguished career in both the public and private sectors. You hold a degree in finance and computer system and networks and in management. So you have covered everything. Furthering, you earned an MBA and a diploma from the Corporate Governance Academy. Your journey began quite early. You are an entrepreneur, but also you have a lot of engagement, and you have a lot of experience also in administration. But your initiatives, such as the eHealth platform and the Unified States platform for adopting and childcare, have been advancing Ukraine's digital services. Your motivation stems from a commitment to leveraging technology to improve social services and governance, a passion evident throughout your career. And I could say so many things further, but it won't let us getting to the important questions I would like to ask you. Later on, let me put my 7 tips from the book and correct me if you think they are wrong or I've forgotten anything. But first, I'd like to ask you some questions. Your book captured the extraordinary challenges of leadership under extreme circumstances. Was there a specific event or experience that made you realize this needs to be documented? How did that moment shape the structure and purpose of your book?
First of all, thank you for these kind words. I really need this review on Goodreads, Anabel. Thank you. And yes, the first weeks of the full-scale invasion changed everything. We had no time, no perfect plan, and no second chances. But we had to act. That's when I knew the war is not just about fighting; it's about leadership. But to be clear, I'm not writing about military leadership. My focus is on managing organization during war, how teams, institutions, and entire systems survive, adapt, and continue to function under extreme conditions. At first, our priority was keeping the system running, making sure people could still receive social support, even in chaos of war. Then we worked to help humanitarian organizations help us, building collaboration between government and international aid. And after that, we focused on making Ukraine's digital social protection system stronger and more efficient because it's important to support human capital right now and
Yeah.
not just in war, but in the long term, I think. I
Yes.
started writing this book in the summer of 2023. By
Wow.
then, I felt that we had life through a unique experience. One of that was still unfolding. This still evolving, and the war continued. Leadership was adapting, and I knew we had to document it.
Mhm. Very impressive. Throughout your book, you highlight the importance of resilience and adaptability. Can you share a key story from the book where a leader, perhaps yourself or someone you worked with, had to make a critical decision that changed the course of events? And what can leaders today learn from that moment?
Oh, there was just one key moment. There was several, I think. But the first was the part of my team, and I stayed in Kiev during the first days of the war. The
Mhm.
decision allowed us to react quickly to events as they unfold. There was no time to wait, no space for hesitation, and we had to act fast and keep the system running. I think it's important milestone for our team during this period. And the second major decision came later when partners with United Nations organization to provide financial aid instead of distribution imported food, where the infrastructure allowed it. At first, humanitarian aid meant tons of imported food and supplies. But in areas there are stores, markets, and banks, we are still operating, giving people money instead of food uh, had a much bigger impact. It allows them to buy that they actually needed while also supporting local businesses, retailers, and keeping Ukrainians' financial system alive. And yes, we was doing together, and our Idupomога system, it's a way to attract all people around the world for this important support.
Hmm, thank you. In terms of leadership is often tested under extreme pressure. Can you share a personal story of a moment when everything seemed uncertain, yet you had to inspire and motivate your team? And what strategies helped you stay resilient? What advice would you give to leaders facing crisis situations?
There was the point when the exhaustion hit everyone. Weeks of crisis mode, constant uncertainty and pressure. It was overwhelming. And I remember one of my team members saying, "How do we keep it going when we don't even know what's next?" At that moment, I knew we had to shift focus. Instead of thinking about how big the crisis was, we had to break it down and what we could control.
Mhm.
So I told them, we don't need to solve everything today. We just need to make sure people get help today. And then tomorrow we do it again. We also made one important rule. No one burns out alone. If someone was exhausted, they had to say it. If
Mhm.
someone needed a break, they took it. Because in war, leadership is a marathon, not a sprint. And if we burn out, the system collapses. This is something that leaders in any crisis need to understand. You are not a hero. You are a system builder, and your job is
Yeah.
not to do everything yourself. It's really to make sure the system keeps running, I think.
Mhm.
And yes, I have some private life hacks. Everyday jogging, it's my mental health supporter, and I recommend to everyone to have this opportunity every morning.
Thank you so much. Crisis often forces innovation, and you just mentioned it. Can you tell us about a time when you or your team had to come up with a creative, unconventional solution to a problem caused by the war? And how did this moment redefine your approach to management and leadership?
I think that one of the biggest innovation was Ukraine's unified informational system of social sphere. Before the war, social services were slow, too much paperwork, too many steps. But in war, speed is really survival. So we built a system where people could apply for it in just a few clicks online. It had never been done before. Now it's a standard. And yes, we connect our system with our Ukrainian one-stop shop application, DIA. I think that you know about DIA. And we also learning the innovation is not always about technology. Sometimes it's about rethinking the way thinking things works. And when we changed humanitarian aid from food packages to financial support, so that aid helped not just people in need, but also the economy. And yes, crisis does not destroy innovation; it accelerated. But we need a lot of additional energy, additional resources to move this progress in times of war.
Mhm. War reshapes not just strategies, but also people. Can you share an encounter with an individual, whether a colleague, an employee, or a community member, that deeply impacted your understanding of leadership in times of conflict? And what did their experience teach you about leading with empathy and purpose?
Oh, a lot of great people around us these days. And I think that one encounter that deeply impacted me was a completely random LinkedIn connection with Derek Elder, the current president of CIRCOM. Be early spring 2022, when Kiev was still surrounded, Derek was already there, not as a spectator, but as someone who genuinely wanted to help, a true supporter of Ukraine. He did everything he could. One of the most memorable things, he helped us to secure a really large diesel generator, and which later kept up system running during blackouts. He also supported us with critical IT equipment, ensuring the key infrastructure stayed operational. This is only one but very powerful example. War is one of the greatest challenges a nation can face, but
Mhm.
it is also a time when you meet extraordinary, brave, and kind people. I, I feel incredibly fortunate to have met so many people from USA, UK, Germany, Sweden, Belgium, Italy, Spain, Poland, another Ukrainian countries, another Japan, Australia, New Zealand. It's a very long line of the friends, and many of whom have become friends and partners. Because at the end of the day, we all share the same goal, a
Mhm.
safe future in an inclusive, fast developing world for our loved ones and for ourselves.
You're so right. Thank you so much for these wise words. Um, as we running a bit out of time, unfortunately, we should have another hour. I would like to give 5 quotes out of your book. In times of war, adaptability is not just a strategy; it's a necessity for survival. Clear communication can be different, but the difference between chaos and coordinated action. Digital transformation accelerates our ability to respond to crises effectively. Resilience is built through preparation and the courage to face adversity head on. And empathic leadership fosters trust and unity, essential components in overcoming challenges. And I would like to give a few tips from my reading of this book. And of course, you as a listener should give your tips from your reading. Let me say there were seven I figured out. And Costa, if I forget one or if something is not right, let me know. Embrace adaptability, prioritize communication, leverage technology, foster collaboration, build resilience, lead with empathy, and focus on efficiency, whatever do you do.
Everything is correct, and I think that this advice it's good not just for members in times of managers in times of war, but
Yes.
for all managers around the world.
You're so right. And I think these are wise words also. Leadership is a marathon, always.
Mhm.
If people think that they can build some effective snips, they are so wrong. It is so important to build resilience, and you're emphasizing on each and every page. It is such a diamond to have you here. I'm very happy because your book is not just written in a really easy way to read. It is transporting some really wise words for not just, as you said, this time of war, but this time to prepare for your future worth living in. And this is where we come to an end. And it's to say thank you, a big thank you to you, Costa, to have you here.
Thank you for your support and keep in touch. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
So I hope that you could take a lot of things out of this from today. And so stay tuned. Seeing you next week. And until next time, keep shining and empowering others and love wherever you can, because this is a power and a gift you have in yourself. Together we rise. Thank you.